Folks, this is Book Talk with Corbin. I'm your host, and we have a returning guest with us, friend of the show, Star Parker. Absolutely fantastic human being. Look, guys, I got two or three good interviews with her. Go to my website, booktalkwithcorbin.com, and check her out. But I was really excited about getting to interview her as soon as possible because we have the great honor and blessing that she's going to be here in Louisville, Kentucky, November 12th at a fundraiser for Sisters for Life. And I just can't tell you how excited I am about that. So I'm going to get this podcast interview out to as many people as possible because I want us to have a packed house when we're down there at the Marriott listening to Sister Star Parker bring us a good message. Sis, thank you for coming on.
You are always welcome. I am not only excited to be on your show on a regular basis, but to come back to Louisville. My heart is smiling. I've been a Sister for Life for years. Angela Mentor is a very dear friend, and I love Louisville. I love Kentucky. So to come back and after COVID locked us all down, it's going to be wonderful to see some smiling faces and get some laughs and focus on a very, very important issue.
Yeah, Sister Mentor, she's well loved and respected, not just in Louisville, but all throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And I myself have a very interesting personal connection with her. Her father and my father they were close friends.
Okay.
Yeah, and
how wonderful.
They did a lot of they're real good close friends. So it's
activism. Yeah, they're very active. There's been concern about what happens to the least of these and the little lost sheep for a long time. And what's fascinating to me is how God crosses people's paths so that those that are very, very concerned about those that are crying themselves to sleep every night, that we actually get to meet and greet, work together. And then what you're telling me now through a couple of generations. So that's pretty cool that your dads know each other. And now you're working very closely with Angela, because it's incredible that your contributions, but hers as well, because we cannot lose sight that God still saves, that he is thinking about that one that's crying themselves to sleep. And so when we think about abortion and how damaging it has been to our society, to families, to men, to women, and to the babies, it's wonderful that people from all different political walks, all different racial walks, all different even religious walks have finally come to grips with what we've been doing in our country to say, this might be legal, but it shouldn't be, because it's unlawful in the eyes of God. And what Sisters for Life has done, and Angela and her great work, they just constantly stay out there and for the women to be there to let them know that you do have alternative, that there are other options, and please save that baby's life. We will help you. And when I get her emails of how many they've saved that day, it seems that every time that they send that they saved another one, it's a day that I really needed to hear from the Lord, because what he has saved me from. And I'll tell my full story that evening about how lost I was. People look at now these long bio things and say, wow, this is incredible. But I was a very lost soul before God got a hold of my life to then start me down this path that then others appreciate by giving me honor and station. I had believed all the lies of the left. I got involved in all types of activities, from criminal to drugs to sexual activity, that landed me in and out of abortion clinic after clinic. So when I get notices from Angela that we saved another baby, it reminds me of myself and how thankful I am that there are people like her and her team that would go out there, because nobody was outside of those clinics I was going into. Because had they been, maybe I wouldn't have gone through so much before finally God found me in that little dark hole living on welfare. Now, is he able to even use that? Are there second chances in the Lord? Of course there are. But if we can get him before, remember that song from the Winans? It's good to know he'll be there whenever I fall, but it's better to know I don't have to fall at all. And so that's what they're out there saying. You don't have to fall. We will help you. Believe us. We will help you. And they do. And I'm excited about coming to Louisville to celebrate life with Angela and the Sisters for Life.
Sis, when you're talking there about how she's on the front lines, saying to mothers, and really to fathers too, there are alternatives. You don't have to do this. I'll never forget that one time I was in one of her earlier fundraisers, and a couple was there, and they actually showed us the child that they was about to abort, but obviously did not abort. And that changed me, to be perfectly honest with you. That changed me.
Mm-hmm. You saw it.
Yes.
You saw it. You saw him. We know it's life because it's in there. But when you're actually looking at the life that would have gone into that clinic, but just because they were there, didn't. And now you're looking in their eyes, you're seeing that smile. Oh, yeah, it's a different story. It's a different place. And that, I can see why that would change you. Like, whoa, what a reality. And that reality needs to be seen over and over, especially over this next year, as the Supreme Court of the land considers if Roe v. Wade was a good idea for us. Okay, during the time of the 70s, might have been able to make the excuse that, scientifically we are not sure, but you can't do that now. We have ultrasound. We know what we're doing. We know, and we as a nation need to come to grips with it. But the reason that Sisters for Life is so important is because they not just work with saving the baby, they work with them as they mature, as they learn new principles to keep their lives pure and honest and virtuous before the Lord. So it's a long term. And the reason that I'm so excited about coming out there is because that work is going to be even needed more as we end abortion being legalized in our country. I was just on a prayer call last night with the Susan B. Anthony, because they're leading up to this court decision every Monday for 15 minutes, just prayer, prayer, prayer. Well, on that call, I want to remind them that we need more pregnancy care centers. We need more maternity homes. We need more people going into these zip codes to where people's lives are really lost. They're lost because of a whole lot of misinformation that has been crammed down their throats, that they don't have the tools to succeed, that they don't have the ability to self-govern, and they believe those lies. When you're in despair and that's the only side of the story you're hearing, you can believe it. And the next thing you know, you internalize it and you're living a very reckless life. So we have to be there. That is the great work of the body of Christ. And that's why I just love what they've done to dedicate their lives to this great work that I don't do, get out there and stand out there every single Saturday to try to convince people to not kill what God calls his reward. So the fact that I can do this work vicariously through them because they're out there doing it, and we can just support them financially to do that great work, we get part of the reward. And I'm telling you, it's nothing more rewarding than what you just said, to see that live child sitting right there from a couple that was determined to go in. And because our Sisters for Life were out there, I've been out there with them. And I'm telling you, it's an experience to be there and watch changing of heart right in front of our eyes. It's just a miracle. So we're going to be doing some miracles celebrating on Friday.
Yes, ma'am. And I just, this is a Book Talk with Corbin. I'm your host, and go to my website, booktalkwithcorbin.com to see a couple of other interviews I've done with Star Parker. Yes, ma'am, you're correct. It's going to be a wonderful time. Good food, good fellowship, and of course, just to hear from you to encourage us and keep on doing what we got to do. At my church, they have a missions department, and they often say to the members, if you cannot go, send. And so that's what we're doing right now. That's what
that's what they do. That's what we're doing here. The time, the talent, the treasure. Some have a little bit of each. Some have the treasure for others to spend the time, and then those that have the talent to come and encourage and to just support that way. That's how it all comes together, the threefold that can't be broken. So I just appreciate you promoting it, and I'm hoping that just based on some hearing that I'll see them on Friday. And if you do come because you heard me on this show, please come up and say hello to me. I would just love to take my picture with you and say thank you for listening to Corbin and for coming out to support Angela and the Sisters for Life.
Sister, let me ask you just one last question here before we close. Are you going to have some of your books available?
Oh, I don't think so. That's the people that invite me, that's their responsibility to bring the books. But I don't think so, because post-COVID, a whole lot of things have been moved around when it comes to opening up lecture and and events and things. So that's a slow process to get back into the having book table and all of those different things. But thank you for asking. If people are interested, they can get Uncle Sam's Plantation, I believe, through my website, curepolicy.org, or they can go to their favorite bookseller and find all of my books. They're still available in print for people to order and have them sent directly to their home. If they do that and they bring it that night, I'll certainly sign it, but we will not be having a book table to my knowledge.
Okay. All right. Sis, looking forward to it. And,
okay. I'll see you then.
All right. I'll be seeing you again, my sister.
Okay. God bless. Bye-bye.